questions. All right. For Math Talks today, we are going to be working with the number 10. We're going to be building to the number 10. So let's review our hand signals one more time. After I ask you the question in Math Talks and you're thinking, show me what you're going to do. When you have an answer that you're ready to share, what are you going to do? Now, I say you're ready to share it because you already know exactly what happened in your mind. You can tell Mrs. Melvin how you got that answer when you show me this. If you were thinking and you get stuck and you cannot come up with an answer, what are you going to show me? While we're discussing our math and you think, oh, I did it that same way, what are you going to show if you agree? Very good. All right. My question today, I'm going to show you a card, kind of like I did last year in your class when we did our Math Talks. And instead of doing a quick image with it, I'm going to leave it up there. But my question is going to be, I have this many, but I need 10. So I want to see if you can tell me how many more I need if I need 10. Now remember, we're building to 10, so put 10 in your head as your guide. That's what I want you to get to. And this is how many I have.
No, don't raise your hand. Think about your signal.
This is what I have, and I need 10. Whisper to your whisper buddy. How many you think you need? Raise your hand if you can tell me what you or your partner thought you would need to build 10. And try to be able to tell me with words how you figured that out, what you saw in your head. And while people are talking, if you agree with them, remember to show them that hand signal. Tell me how you figured that out.
Because we counted the box.
Which boxes?
The clear ones.
The clear boxes, the boxes without any circles in them. When you saw in your head those boxes, did you picture the whole 10 frame in your head or just this bottom row? The whole 10 frame. So did you see this whole 10 frame with the dots in your head also? And then did you count each one of these boxes? If anybody did it that way in their head, you can show them, I agree, because you had the same strategy. Did anybody have a different way to figure out how many more you needed? What happened in your brain?
I used the dots.
Oh, explain to me how you used the dots.
I counted the dots and then I counted how many more.
Okay. Did you count every dot to get, what number did you get? How many dots?
6.
And then you counted on until you got to 10, so you counted on. Anybody else figure out a different way? Right? What happened in your mind?
I had 0 dots and then I know that 5 plus 5 was 10, so 6 plus 5 would make 11, so 6 plus 4 is 10.
Oh, so you used something you already knew and then built upon that? So did you see this 10 frame of 2 rows of 5 in your head to get that first one? So in his head he saw 5 at the top and then 5 at the bottom, but then said, oops, there's 1 that's filled, so that would make 11, so I'd have to take 1 away from that to get 4. Very smart. Anybody else have a different way? Let's listen to one more. I just, how? Think in your brain. What happened in your brain that you knew to say 4?
I just put there 2 plus 2 is 4.
Okay, so did you see these 2 boxes and these 2 boxes? Did anybody else see those as sets of 2? 2 and 2? Show her that you agree if that's what happened in your brain.
That's easy.
Some brains really see in pairs. I have some friends that their brains always pull two of things together, and they count by twos really fast. That's really a strong point for them. So you must see in twos sometimes too. So she saw two pairs, 2 and 2. Gave her 4. Okay, are you ready for another one? Okay, get your minds ready. We're building to 10.
I bet this is fun. Easy.
This is what I have, and I want 10.
Oh. What?
Make sure you really pay attention to what your brain is doing so you can explain it to us. When you have an answer, remember what you're to show me. Can you show me that you need more time? I want 10, and this is how many I have. Whisper to the person sitting closest to you. How many more do you need? Now whisper to that person how you figured it out. How did you get that answer? Did you explain to Blake how you got your answer? Hold on one second. Raise your hand if you can share with the whole group how many more we need to have 10 and how you figured it out. What happened in your brain to get you to that answer? Real nice and loud.
7.
Sure, you agree if that's what you thought. Now, how did you figure out 7?
Well, I know 2 more to make it because I know after 6 it's 7.
Okay, explain to me. After 6 it's 7. Explain that.
Yeah, so I already know that 6 and 7 goes right for 7.
So, in the number line, if you're counting, you know that 7 comes after 6. So that's something that you already knew.
I didn't have to count, I just knew it right away.
You knew it right away. What did you look at when you looked up there?
Well, I just looked at all the blank ones.
Okay, so she's looking at the blank ones. And so you saw these blank ones in your mind, kind of like a puzzle piece. And she said she knew 6 right away. So you looked and you saw this one and this one. Was that what you counted as your 6? She saw this and said, oh, I know that's 6. And I know one more than 6 is 7. Did anybody else figure it out that exact same way? If you did, show her this. If you saw it a different way, raise your hand if you can explain to me how you saw 7 in a different way.
I counted 3 and I counted 7 and 3 plus 7 was 10.
Okay, so you counted each one of these dots and said that's 3. Did you put those in your head then? And then did you see the blank ones separately and count them each? Did you count them each square? So he counted each square. Did you look up here and kind of go like this as you were counting them? So he used his eyes to kind of track and count the 7 more that he needed. And then he even thought, well, I'm going to check that and see if 3 plus 7 equals 10. And that's something that he knew in his head, that 3 plus 7 equals 10. So he thought correct about that answer, right? Did anybody else do it a different way?
I held all of them in my head, then I counted more, and I went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so you put them all in your mind.
And then-
Remember the quick images we did last year? You took a picture with your brain and you held it in your mind, and then she counted the ones in her brain that were more.
I didn't count those 3.
So she took these out and only counted the blank ones in her mind. Did you count each box, or did you do like she was doing and put them in 2s?
I put them in 2.
Did you put them in 2s, so you counted by 2s? 2, 4, 6, and then one more is 7? Raise your hand if you have a different way to figure out that there were 7 more needed. Can you explain to me what you saw? Which ones did you count? The blank ones? Did you start down here when you counted? Over here, up right here at the next empty box. So did you just look at these, or did you take a picture and hold it in your brain? So you took the picture, and so in your mind you counted. Did you crisscross please? In her mind she counted these empty spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We're ready for another. Crisscross your legs. Isn't it really fun to hear the different strategies that other friends use? Sometimes we think they have to figure it out the same way as us if they get the same answer. Okay, now this one is going to be so easy, especially if you still have the picture in your brain from the last card. Does everybody still have the picture in their brain from the last card?
Yeah. Well,
Try to remember it. Now I want you to use what we know from the last card to figure this one out, okay? I need 10. Look back in your pictures in your brain. Remember what you know from the last card. How can that card help you with this card? Whisper to the whisper buddy. How many more you need? And then tell them how you figured it out. Boys.
yes.
Landon. Did you tell? Make sure you're still crisscross applesauce. Now, I want, with as many details as possible, this person to explain exactly how they figured this out. So try to dig into your brain. Exactly what did you do? What happened in your mind to get to this answer? Let's see. Who have I not heard from? Landon.
I'm 6.
6. If you agree, show me you agree. How did you figure that out, Landon?
I counted the boxes.
Which boxes?
The boxes I counted 12, because when I count the one with the one right there, it makes me go go down to back here.
So you started here, and did you go down, or
Yes.
did you go across? You went down,
Then across, then up, then across.
then across. And how many did you come up with?
6.
6. So did you count this box as one,
Yeah.
or did you skip that box?
I skipped that box to the square down.
So then you counted this one as one, and you went up here and said, oop, I'm skipping that one. 2.
I'm skipping all of those.
All of these that have the dots in them,
Yes.
because we know
I'm
we
just
already
going
have
up
those.
to them, then going down. That it's a way. Then when you get to the last one down, then you can go right up and over the count.
Okay, everybody put your eyes up here and let's see if we can do it the same way that Landon did it in his head. Did he explain it to us good enough?
Yeah.
Let's see. If he explained it well, then we should be able to figure it out the same way he did. Are we ready? All eyes up here. I want to hear you counting. Skipped this one, right? He said he started there and skipped it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that what happened in your brain, Landon? You must have explained it really well, because then we were able to do it using the same strategy. Did anyone use a different strategy than Landon to figure out 6 was what we would need? What did you do?
I saw
Listen closely, please. Make it up so she has personal space.
I saw 4, and then I counted those 2 more.
Oh, everybody look up here. Let's see, did he explain it well enough that we could do it the same way that he did it in his brain?
Yeah. I can't even hear it.
Eyes this way. He said he saw all 4 of these together. Did you have to count those, or did you know they were 4?
I saw 4.
So you saw that they were 4, you didn't count each one? So he said 4 and 2 is 6. He saw these 4 together and knew that they were 4. And then he counted on the 2 more to give him 6. Did anybody else see it that same exact way? Let's take one more example, one way that's different from the 2 that we have shared. Let's see, Bella, how did you see 6? Can you explain to us what happened in your mind? Can your partner explain what happened in your mind to see 6?
If I had
Listen, please.
10 and I counted 4 backwards, then I waited to 6.
Oh, I like this strategy. She started with the whole tens frame full because she knew that we wanted 10, right? So she started with what we wanted and then went backwards with what we already have. That's a great strategy to use. So she started with 10 and then counted backwards. 9, 8, 7, 6. Very smart thinking. She started with it full and then took away the ones that we already had. All right. I want you to remember when we're doing math this year in first grade to use that camera in your brain. Take those pictures and see it in your brain and try really hard to explain how you got your answers. Because answers are important to be right. Yes, we want them to be right. But we also want you to be able to explain how you got there so that we can make sure that other people might be able to share those strategies. Okay? Stand up right where you are. And stretch as tall as you can to the ceiling.